I'm sorry.
Sori, we're about to review a song that
I've been wanting to do for quite some time.
Has been heavily requested.
And a lot of times they say, Sori's gonna love it.
So
no pressure.
This is Wintersun, Sons of Winter. I don't know anything about this band. I don't even know where they're from.
Oh.
Are they from Sweden?
I don't know. I didn't do any research.
I don't know. So, we've got the lyrics here, and it looks like there's like a chapter 1 and a chapter 2 and all that good stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like an epic song.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is another one of those, like, I feel like this is going to have like a Lord of the Rings epic Legend of Zelda type feel to it. So I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
So this is Wintersun. Let's do it.
Epic. Epic. Wow.
Yikes. That was like one of the times when I made an assumption about a song and a band, and I was dead on. Like I knew that this was gonna happen. Like there's literally, I'm like, whoa! I was spot on with my assumption of what the song was going to be.
Did you like it?
I want to hear what you had to say about it first.
Oh my gosh! You know, it's interesting because I liked it. It was like Diablo the Scars, how much I love that one.
Yeah.
This one I really liked, but they're not the same.
Well, no, I agree.
Yeah, they're just not the same, and I can't really nail down what. Both of them were awesome, but this one, I don't know. This one, like, well, it sounded like tragedy mixed with triumph.
I feel like there's two teams here. So the stars are raining in the opening scene.
Okay, what did you... At that part, I thought, okay, because I think that I've seen stuff where, like, you know, people believe that, like, meteors, stars, and stuff hit the Earth, and then that ushered in an ice age, correct?
Yeah.
So I thought that maybe that's what they were talking about here.
This seems like an otherworldly thing to me. The reason I feel like there's two teams is because initially it says the awakening of darkened skies, sons of winter. That's cool, sons of winter and stars. So like the winter and stars got together and had sons.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
Sons of winter and stars.
Yeah.
And of course, Satan is called the son of the morning.
Yep.
But it's not a bad connotation. Mm-hmm. It just speaks of his beauty. But I think you could say that about any angel or any beautiful being. Is that it's just beautiful writing.
Yeah.
That if a star and the winter got together, I mean, it's just like, because there's beauty in the winter. I mean, there's bad parts of winter, but there's. I'm thinking this is talking about the beauty. Mm-hmm. Fly with us through the darkness, and we shall embrace the stars, and we shall open the doors of time. So this, like, you're going up and beyond space and opening this sort of portal into the netherworld or another world or something.
Yeah, I guess I thought that it was the survivors of that scene where the stars come to the earth, and then sons of winter and stars arise, because you have the sons of winter because it was an ice age, and it was also, I've heard that it was dark as well, because there was something.
I was just listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about I forgot what they called it, like sun caused blackouts or something like that. It was a very, very interesting concept. But like the sun, like going overboard, then causes darkness. But I don't think it's that scientific. This seems to me like pure fantasy to me.
All of a sudden you have, so when we shall open the doors of time, I thought that was because most everything had been eliminated except for the sons of the winter and stars that arose from the tragedy. And they were going to open the doors of time because they were going to continue helping things to carry on. Time wasn't over.
Wait. Start the story from the beginning.
It was like, because the stars come and they rain and they hit on the earth, and then that ushers in the ice age.
Okay.
And then they're calling the sons of the stars in the winter to arise, like the survivors of that tragedy.
Are these like people?
I don't know. I hadn't really, I don't know.
And then it says, the blazing fire came pouring down, falling from the dark, and life and death became unbound.
Yeah, and then it just seemed like maybe that there was something, I don't know, like, I think it was like part like how I see things to be, and part like
fantasy stuff.
Yeah, mixed into it. So that would be like sons. Okay, so then.
So who's?
I have awakened the darkness, taste the fear, taste the pain. So there wasn't just like, there was bad and there was good that ended up surviving, but it seems like the bad is kind of like stronger and like kind of taking over, and I am the one who seeks vengeance. Well, then later on it talks about the rain, and so I was like, wow, are they referencing when the flood happened? I don't know. Like, they introduced this character at the beginning that is bad and is seeking vengeance and stuff, and so then I thought maybe down here, rain comes and washes the hate away. So then it's time for, like, there's another change. It just seems like there's like changes that take place.
He wants to seek vengeance. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning he wants revenge for something.
Yeah.
this is song 2 in a 5-song record. So
yeah, that's why I said different phases.
This is one of those things where it's like we're in the middle. I feel like we're in chapter 2 of a 5-chapter story, and you figure if they're doing, 13 minutes a song, that's a whole record, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, what were you seeing?
It just seemed way more fantastical to me because it's like I'm surrounded by the circle of fire, but eternal ice has frozen my heart. I'm lost in the pathways of time.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of time travel here, and going through different portals and things like that.
Could you relate to a lot of this?
That's why, to me, one of the things that was to me, this is just pure fantasy.
Yeah.
And you're talking about sci-fi, you're talking about traveling before time, and then you have these race of people who are able to do this, and they're the sons, and they kind of fly. You remember in Avatar when they were flying on those? It was kind of had that kind of like attitude, like rah. You know what I mean? What was interesting to me though is like this is completely fantastical and obviously not. For me, it's this song has nothing to do with the real world or the world that we live in. It's pure science fiction fantasy to me.
So you don't think they took any of it from what we have had?
Not at all. Not at all. I think that somebody wrote a story, an awesome sci-fi story, and then just put it to music.
Okay.
I don't see anything even remotely close to anything about the Earth and whatever. But that is significant to me because even in that sci-fi setting, there's a lot of things that are relatable to the human experience. So like being disillusioned about things, growing past being a hateful person. Something here is mentioned about love, where he sacrificed everything for one moment. Where did that go? Right there. I sacrifice everything just for one moment. I throw away everything that matters to me the most. He has to sacrifice something so that they can go into this other dimension or whatever. See what I'm saying?
Oh.
And we fly beyond the restless shadows. We fly beyond the stars. We fly beyond the birth of the world. So like, he's going up somewhere into you think like, okay, what was there before the universe? Like, even if you're a theist or an atheist, it doesn't matter. That's still like a mind-blowing concept. Like, so when I say, oh, God said, let there be light, I always think of God in like in this like blackness, and he's just up there chilling, and then he goes, oh, let there be light. But blackness is a color.
Right. Right.
So what the hell was there?
You're picturing something.
And if you're an atheist and you go, oh, it's a Big Bang, okay, what was happening before the singularity exploded? Like, what was going on? And if you say, oh, if you have like this idea of like a black universe, that's still something. So to be able to conceive of something before the worlds, we fly beyond the birth of the worlds. Like, so you're going up and you're going backwards, back through time. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so it's like, what was that? That's always been a fascinating concept to me. And I remember being a kid and like sitting in my bed and thinking that stuff through, and like trying to go backwards, and I could only get to like this infinite black. But then I thought to myself, yeah, but that's a color. So what does nothing look like?
See, I used to think back, but I never thought of that. Like, oh, but now I'm thinking of a color.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I guess that's what was there. It was just black.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I didn't go as deep.
What is nothingness? I'm not sure that nothingness is an actual real thing. Because if you say that God was an eternal being, then there was never nothing. There's just created and uncreated.
Yeah.
So how can there ever be any nothingness?
Well, there was before he created something in the space of nothing.
Yeah, you just made my point. That's created versus uncreated, but there's not nothing because he was there.
Because nothing would be a creation?
Well, God is a thing. He is a thing. He's a subject.
Huh. That's so interesting.
So how could there be nothing if you're saying that God is eternal?
Yeah.
So then, if from our worldview, I don't even think it's possible to conceive of nothingness because that's not a thing. There's no such thing as no thing because God is an eternal thing.
That's true.
So when you talk about I just don't see how that can happen. How can you even perceive of that? Which is not the question that's being asked here, but he's going beyond the birth of the worlds. And what's interesting is the author of this song doesn't say, well, what did you like? I don't say to the guy, like, what did you see? He doesn't talk about that. He just says, I'm going beyond that.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't like address that, which I see why, because none of us knows what the hell that is. But look, he's become old now. Mm-hmm. Like, it costed something. You know, he had to time travel 1,000 years staring into emptiness. Well, there it is. You know, so he went beyond. See right there, it says we fly beyond the birth of the world.
Yep.
And then he becomes old, and now he's staring into emptiness because he's around now before everything started. Well, what the hell is emptiness, Mr. Person?
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, because you would still. What are you traveling through?
Yeah, but now I realize that it was just an illusion. All this time I thought it was you that would save the sun. Oh, rain comes and washes the hate away. Now I'm at the crossroads of questions. Somewhere, someday, I'll find what I'm here for. Who am I? So
that's the big question, you know, that lots of people ask.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, here's this fantastical setting that's very, you know, supernatural and all the rest of it. And at the end of the day, we're all still asking the same questions. Mm-hmm. What was around before everything was made? Why am I here? Blah. So, like, some guy in, you know, Tennessee somewhere, you know, it's just very pedestrian, very normal looking dude, is in his car on the way to the 7-Eleven, and he's getting hit with this existential question, what am I here for? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, this guy is like time traveling and doing all this like crazy fantastical shit. Same question.
Yeah.
Same question. Why am I here? Mm-hmm. You know, what's the purpose? So whether you're doing something as mundane and as, you know, unimportant as going to 7-Eleven, or if you're doing something as huge as trying to save this, because it looks like there's like some world that's in danger and they're trying to save it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it seems like the sun is the be all end all. If they could figure out how to make the sun not go away, they'll be okay. Mm-hmm. And
I thought it was you that would save the sun. Yep.
Yeah. And you see right there, how it feels so cold, my dreams wither in fragments of time, revealing that this land will die before the wind so cold the world was shattered in fragments of time. So it's talking about like this cold that's coming, and you're trying to save the sun because this cold is coming, mm-hmm. and it seems like these guys are all on a team, and they're not going to accept the death of their planet.
Yeah. What do you think that at one point it said that they couldn't something because their heart was frozen, but then over there it says forever the fire burns in our hearts.
The energy flows in me like a river of stars. I'm surrounded by the circle of fire, but eternal ice has frozen my heart.
Yeah.
I'm lost in the pathways of time, but now the time has come for us. Well, that's him. That's him specifically, but that's not the rest of them. The rest of them have fire burning in their hearts and all the rest of it. See,
where's that fire coming from?
Because they're the sons of the stars, so they're getting all their energy, it seems like, from these stars. Because at the beginning, they're opening this portal. Mm-hmm. You see right there, behold the rain of stars, the awakening of darkened skies, falling from the dark, the symphony of dying lights. Behold the rain of stars, a blazing fire came pouring down. So it seems like this it's the fire of the stars that are empowering these guys, but they're dying lights. The stars are dying lights, which is true. Mm-hmm. And it seems like these guys, their job is to make sure that the sun doesn't die, and to make sure that their planet can still, you know, survive, basically. Mm-hmm. But this particular guy, in order to, it seems like he had to like go and open a realm, but it cost him something, and he's dead inside after that. But then the rest of them are like, "Rah, let's do it."
Oh, weird.
Like, in order to do that, he had to basically sacrifice himself.
Right.
And, you know, it's like I've told you before, there's only like 2 or 3 stories, and we keep telling them.
Yes.
We keep telling them over and over.
The characters change, the setting changes, but the stories.
The story's always the same. And so here's a guy who has to sacrifice something at great cost in order to accomplish something bigger than himself and save a planet that depends on him.
Yep.
I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. But there you go. So this guy, what he sacrifices is he becomes old because he had to time travel. Mm-hmm. It's like, what's his face?
So what did he do? Push them into the future?
I think he had to go backwards to reverse what was happening to the sun, or something like that, and then open up the portal, so then the sons of winter and stars can go and do their thing and help save the world. We are the sons of winter and stars. We've come from a far beyond time. Because he went back to get them, apparently. Forever the fire burns in our hearts. Our world shall never die. In the arms of the wind we ride till dawn. As the waves of the ocean grind so strong, we wander in the stars until we're gone. Our fate is sealed by eternal sun. See, here, they're saying that the sun is eternal. Mm-hmm. You know, I was listening to a guy on Joe Rogan yesterday, and he was talking about, like, I think it's uniformitarianism, this idea that everything is, like, the way that things are now is the way they've always been. Help me out, Alec. And he said the sun was basically the last vestige of Aristotelian thought. Like, the idea that the sun is always going to be there is sort of the last vestige of that type of mindset. Because you need the sun to kind of be like this eternal thing. But there's conflict in the song because you're trying to rescue the sun, it seems like. But in the chorus, they're talking about their fate is sealed by the eternal sun. Well, why the hell are you fighting against the dying of the sun if the sun is eternal? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But it seems to me like that's their mindset because they're saying we're not going to accept.
I see.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, you know, I'm usually not really into like fantastical, you know, fantasy, blah, 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 blah.
I love stuff like that.
But I did like the science fiction angle because I do like science fiction.
Now, what about when they were talking about the time stuff? Like, because time is such a concept for you that...
Well, yeah, I mean, time is a major theme in this song.
Yeah, but time with you always like to say these things about time.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept for me. I mean, this to me seemed pretty straightforward.
So, like, yeah, it was actually time travel.
Yeah, it's time travel. But he used time very, very intelligently here because it says, I'm lost in the pathways of time, but now the time has come for us. Mm-hmm. Right? So, like, that was a pretty intelligent way of using the word time. Mm-hmm. We've come from a far beyond time, forever the fire burns in our hearts. So, like, these guys came from the future, you know, to go fix to go fix the present, which is their past, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like it was a 13-minute song?
That's a good question. There's the whole concept of time and time travel. No, it didn't feel like a 13-minute song.
No, it felt like a 4 or 5 minute song.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it. But at the same time, like, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
This is why time is such an interesting concept. Because I'm not really sure that it exists. Like, how would you even define the term time?
Well, it depends. If I say, I'm going to time you, and you have 20 minutes to clean your room, or you're grounded, then I watch the clock.
Yeah, but define what's happening with the clock. What's happening there?
It moves forward in, like, it's not chaotic, it has order. In an orderly fashion, it moves forward.
You mean it moves forward? Well,
that little dial.
Yeah, but if a clock is broken, you'd still say it's moving forward. Like, if it wasn't going at 60 seconds, right? Let's say the hand was moving. No,
that's what I mean by an ordered, like, it's...
Well, if it moved at 55 seconds and got to the minute hand, you'd say that the time is wrong, but it's still ordered. It's just moving in the minute hand every 55 seconds.
Right, but I guess ordered is not the word that I'm thinking of. It's meaning that it's a set pattern that goes like...
55 seconds is a set pattern.
No, it's not a set pattern by what we say is 60 minutes and 1 minute.
Well, yeah, it's this
60 seconds.
But again, this is this arbitrary... Okay, we've determined that 60 seconds is a minute. What is it? Time is extremely difficult to define. It's extremely difficult to define. It's just like salt is extremely difficult to define as taste, as a flavor.
Yeah.
You know, you can define other things as salty, but salt itself as a taste is very difficult. You can say sugar is sweet, but salt is what? Salty? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And time is like that. Time is such a weird,
it is
crazy concept, and I'm not particularly sure that's one of those that it really exists either. So there you go.
That's so weird.
Eternal ice has frozen my heart. Yeah, so there's a lot of things about time here that's interesting because the ice is eternal and so is the sun. But the eternal ice isn't a literal issue here. I mean, it's something that's going on metaphysically inside of them, but the sun is eternal for some reason. Seems like these people almost worship the sun at some level. These the Sons of Winter or whatever. But what's interesting is their whole, I want to say religion, philosophy, way of life is centered around the sun, but they're called the Sons of Winter and Stars. They're not like this. You'd figure they'd be like the Sons of the Sun and Stars, or the Son of.
But maybe that's why they worship it. You know what I'm saying? Like if they were of the summer, then you almost get tired of what you have. In the wintertime, you long for the sun more. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's.
Yeah, I think we need to listen to more of this record. This is one of those ones where it's like Have you ever lived in a place that had winter? Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying. It's just I wish we had the time to listen to the entire record, because I feel like we'd have a lot more. We'd have a lot more context, and then they should make a movie out of this. They should put like $1 billion into some good graphic imagery and make a movie. So Vin and Sori said it. So now it must be done. Let it be written.
Let it be
done. What do you give the song?
9.5.
Solid 7 for me. Solid 7. I'd probably give it a higher score if I had more context, but there's a lot of untied shoelaces, which I feel like I'm not being particularly fair. Because,
I was going to say, how is that fair?
Because I'm sure if we listen to song 1, 3, 4, and 5, everything would be clear.
Yeah.
Like, what does he mean vengeance? What do you want to take vengeance for?
Right.
What do you need to take vengeance? So hopefully we get enough Wintersun, because this particular song was requested like crazy for this band.
Yeah.
Usually when you get a request for a band, it's like, do this, do that. There's like 3 or 4 songs. This song, like everybody was like, this song, this song, this song. And I'm like, you should have told us to do When Time Fades Away, which was song 1.
Look, song 5 is Time.
Right, yeah.
Must be an interesting.
The whole thing is a concept, so like it would have been awesome. Thank you, Wintersun fans.
Yeah, but they probably like this one the most, and they're never going to get around to song 1, and we'll definitely never get to song 2. So let's just go for the heavy hitter. Yeah,
because I guess there are a lot of channels where like if they don't like the first song, they won't listen to them again. We'll listen to the song. Here, news. We will listen. Well, we will listen to any band.
I understand why they do that.
Yeah, but it's driven by the village. So even if I don't like the band, we listen to.
Shoot! Priest. Look what happened with Judas Priest. Yeah, we don't know if that's going to happen with another one.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think what happened with Priest is going to happen again.
You don't know that.
His voice is very singular.
Yeah.
So I don't, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think he's like in a separate category. But my point about Priest is people kept asking for Priest. I wasn't I wasn't a fan of having to listen to it. And it's not but people were saying like, oh, Priest grew on you. Priest did not grow on me. It literally happened overnight.
That's true.
Just like Yanni and Laurel. That's
it didn't grow on you. It
wasn't like, okay. It was like, I don't know. My point is, we don't have to like the song or the band to listen to it. But if it's a concept record, for the love of God, please do song 1 first. Because this guy, I knew it. Like, as soon as I saw the Vengeance thing, I said, son of a bitch, this is a concept record. And he's pissed about something and whatever. So there's multiple teams happening. Yeah. So there's multiple shoelaces that are just untied for me. I can't get, musically, I thought it was great. I thought that they were there's a lot of synth, but to get that sci-fi feel, you kind of need the synth. But there was still metal there. Like if you're a metalhead, you could tell there was some fucking
in his voice and stuff.
There are some fucking heavy riffs in that song, almost to the point where I'm like, the story is so epic and the lyrics are so, and you're getting kind of lost in the sci-fi world that I'm a little bit afraid that people miss like the epicness of some of the metal. Because some of those riffs were heavy as hell. Like,
yeah, I agree.
A lot of start-stop staccato stuff that I love. That I'm like, I think people probably, I'm going to give it a 0.5 for that, 7 to 0.5 for that, because I feel like, go back and listen to the song. And,
I felt like it needed a female vocal in there.
I was extremely surprised that there was not a female vocalist.
Yeah, I definitely think that there was a miss there, because...
Well, it's their band.
I mean, I can't sing, but...
You can sing stuff line.
This one is going to be fun to sing with.
You could have. I'll tell you what. They made a video with you, and you were.
Oh my
gosh. No, but I mean, how can you fault them for that? They don't have a girl in their band, probably. Well. So they're just supposed to get a girl in the band because Sori said so.
People never just say, "Hey, let's do this song together," and invite somebody else on.
Should have had the girl from Nightwish.
Yes.
Wait till you hear Nightwish.
Well, I think I did. You were playing it the other night, weren't you?
No, that wasn't Nightwish. That was Ginger.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't Nightwish.
It was some...
Oh, you know, it was some girl from Instagram. She's got a band. I think it's Blue something. No, it's Azul something. Hey, if you're listening, big shouts.
Yep.
Yeah. But if they would have had the girl from Nightwish on this as a guest, but maybe they weren't big enough. You can't fault them because they have a girl.
There's people that sing in your local town. I mean, we have some really good talent around here.
Not if you have a specific vision for a song, you're not just gonna snag some. This is an epic song.
I get that.
Epic. They put a whole bunch of work into this.
But even like just the local people that we were around. You remember that girl Sam that showed up? That one time, she friggin' could sing.
You're great. We were around hundreds of people, and she's one person.
Oh, you don't think this band is around hundreds of people?
I don't know. Maybe they're in the backwoods of, you know.
And they don't know 100 people?
I don't know. So you're gonna penalize them. I'm gonna penalize them because.
No, yeah, I get. No, I'm not really penalizing them for it, but it is I'm like they needed a female voice in there.
I agree. A female voice would have been more epic for the song.
Yep.
And I was actually expecting.
No, leave his, but just do a girl singing with it.
No, I'm not saying replace it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Especially, it would have been very helpful when you're like. Because there's different characters in different, modes, so it would have been helpful to be okay, all right, as indicators. But I like the song. I'll probably if I hear the whole album through and I have a 4 months to cogitate on it, I'd probably give it a higher score because there's so much going on. It's a 7.5 for me. What do you got?
9.5.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.